Good evening, everyone. We are from Group 3, and we're going to explain about, presentate about fully developed fire behavior in fire protection system. And there's my colleague Ignatius Adrian, myself, Muhammad Diandrianto, Muhammad Gifari Rizky, and Muhammad Rifat Muntasheder. Next. So in this slide, we're going to explain about the scenario explanation. So at first there's ignition when the fire started, and there's growth where the fire grows and going to take all the stuff to burn. And then there's some flashover. Flashover is when fire is capable to burn everything inside the room. And after the flashover, there's burning. Burning is it's like a fully developed fire. So it's characterized by the heat release rate and high temperatures when compared to pre-flashover conditions. So in flashover, it's about like 600 degrees Celsius, and for the fully developed fire, it's more than 600 degrees Celsius. Next. As you can see, if there's a room that have the fully developed fire. So fire is when we when the room is got burned, got fire, and there's some velocity profile and neutral plane. So the neutral plane and below, it is the oxygen when the oxygen come to the flow to the room. Therefore, the fire is getting bigger and bigger. And there's a calculation the rate of the inflow, such as m dot air equals to 0.5 AWH kilogram second. And this is like gas flow through openings for a fully developed fire. Next. There are some variation of mass burning rate with the ventilation factor AWH for range of fuels. So in the books, they do some experiment, as you can see. So the variation of burning rate with AWH is shown on 4 liquid fuels, 3 of which are hypothetical. So in curve A and curve B refers to fuels with the same delta HC, but widely differing values of LP. As would be expected, the fuels with the lower value of LP, such as the curve, give a much higher burning rate, the m dot. Similarly, like reducing the delta HC air while keeping the LV constant, as you can see, compared from A and B, has a very dramatic effect. So as you can see, the A is very high. When the ventilation factor is 10, then the rate of burning is also higher. Rather than D, when the ventilation factor is getting higher, but the rate of burning is lower than the A or C or B. And however, this observation would have relevance of situation involving ventilated air less than 21% oxygen by volume. Next.
So the ventilation parameter and the temperature graph. So we can see in this graph that it is the graph of ventilation parameter in the X factor and temperature inside compartment in the Y factor, which is in Kelvins. So the graph between the relationship between ventilation parameter and temperature inside compartment shows that the fuel with lower LV value, as you can see on the B and the A line, produces a lower temperature. The reason for this is that the excess volatiles released from the fuel leave the compartment unburned, thereby increasing the convective heat loss and also the volume of outflow, which restricts the inflow of fresh air and will result in a lower temperature. So this is the ratio of M divided by AW square root H for ethanol pool fires in a small scale compartment. So in the figure, the ratio of M divided by AW square root h, which Kawagoe found to be constant for quick fires exploded against full bed area, which is AF meter squared for the ethanol fires, showing clearly that M is not determined by the AWH squared, AW square root h alone, compared with equation 10.1, and that the effects of the AW square root h and AF are not independent. Although not immediately obvious, figure 10.10 also shows that M increases as AF is increased as anticipated. If we compare the values of the AW square root h assigned to each curve.
So now we move to the Hermatist correlation, which as you can see in the plot, shows non-cellulosic materials that can burn at rates much higher than predicted by equation, which equation 10.1. And yeah, and as you can see, flashover can be achieved with some non-cellulosic fuels using surface areas only 1/10 of that required for wood. And figure 10.12 systematically illustrates the divergence from Kawagoe behavior, showing that in the ventilation controlled regime, the burning rate or m dot over AF can exceed predictions of equation. And for large values of AWH point H to the 1/2, burning rates resemble those in open condition with enhancement from radiation feedback. High burning rates of ethanol fall below this correlation line due to a vapor layer above the fuel surface, which attenuates radiant heat. Similar behavior is not for polyethylene. Next. Okay, so for this next diagram is a schematic diagram that's showing the variation of mass burning rate with ventilation and fuel bed area or AF. Ventilation control regime illustrated in this figure. Many synthetic and cellulosic fuels with extended surface areas like wall linings exhibit this burning behavior. Insufficient air inflow cause excess volatiles to exit with combustion products, often resulting in external flaming. Next. Okay, so let's move to this table. Table is 10.1. In 1979, Bullen and Thomas compared small-scale liquid and plastic fuel fire burning rates with air inflow rates, and it is calculated by using equation 10.16. And they define an excess fuel factor or FEX, which is 0 for stoichiometric burning and positive when unburned volatility compartment. Excess fuel factor equation is equals to 1 minus m dot air over r times 1 over m dot. And in this table also shows burning rates in open condition versus compartment conditions, illustrating the dependence of FEX on fuel surface area and ventilation factor. Fire judged by maximum sealing temperature depends on both FEX and AWH 1/2. Next.
So in the same year, Bullen and Thomas examined the influence of radiant heat flux within the compartment. Then they plotted the burning rate of various fuels versus IAF over LV, where I is in kilowatt per meter square, which is the intensity of the radiant heat at the ceiling during steady burning, which is shown in the figure in the right side. Despite the scattered data, there is a reasonable correlation about the line of m dot equals AF over LV, which indicate that the radiation will dominate the heat transfer to the fuel surface. This relationship is going to be compared with equation 10.21 with many data points for high burning rates of ethanol fall below the line on the right side. So in This result is also consistent with the observation of a substantial vapor layer above the fuel surface, which attenuates the radiant heat reaching the liquid, according to Duris in the same year, 1979. And the same explanation is going to apply as well to a single datum for polyethylene. Next. So the temperature profiles in the external flames from 3 small scale compartment fires, according to Bullen and Thomas, is shown in the figure on the left side, where the fuel was IMS and only the area of the fuel bed was very. The tip of the flame was assumed to be represented by the 550 degrees Celsius contour, although this is going to underestimate the height by around 10% based on the photographs. And external flaming is also a crucial mechanism of fire spread and can damage external load-bearing structural members, according to section 10.7. Next.
Okay, and that's all for the presentation. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day. Thank you.